How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. We have our new setup again.
We do have a new setup again.
Every time.
I know. I love it. We're getting more and more better. So this is, as everyone will have seen on TikTok, we've invested in some Rode mic stands.
Mm-hmm.
I've drilled holes in the table. That's the ultimate if you're a gay is to be able to drill holes.
Yeah. My old coffee table, which
Yeah.
is an apothecary.
Apothecary.
Apothecary. table.
Apothecary table. There we go. I can promise we've only had one drink.
No, we haven't had a drink. We didn't drink on work.
No, we don't drink and work.
But yeah.
Well, we do live in a certain country that likes to sort of kick us while we're down and not allow us to buy alcohol at any given moment in time.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we might speak about that on the podcast.
We might do.
Already. But kind of leads into this week's episode.
It does lead into this week's episode. So,
which will be
on
Sweden.
So we both find ourselves living in Sweden.
Yeah.
2 Brits, 2 millennial gays.
2 millennial gays.
Living in Sweden.
Just trying to make it work.
Yes. So I want to jump right in and just go, how did you get here?
Okay, before we start, we have to promise each other that we're not going to do the Brit in Sweden thing and say, no, for fun. Because we don't want to be those people.
No.
Even though I just did it. Because it's tacky.
What, I'm never fan?
No, for fun. No, it's like, I don't know who the comedian is, but my friend was telling me there's this like American or British guy and his whole thing is taking like the piss out of Swedes. I'm going, no, for fun. I mean, I know I've just done it 3 times in a row.
How does it go again?
No, for fun.
Because that's 4.
Okay. So we need to promise each other we're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to do that anymore. But you know what a new one I heard? So I was watching a TikTok and she was like, oh, we don't sound like that. And there was a moment where it was like what? And she was like, well, this person said we sound like Stitch out of Lilo and Stitch.
That I can get on board with.
Yeah, because he just looked at her and just went, say cheeseburger. And she was literally like, cheeseburger.
I like... Okay, we're going straight for it. Like, because a lot of people think, when they think of Swedes, they think of the chef.
Yeah, Swedish chef, hurdy-gurdy.
Hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah.
They don't sound like that.
They don't sound like that.
They sound way more like Stitch. It's all in the throat.
Yeah, it's all like there was. I think the biggest thing for me was when someone sat there and said, "Oh yeah, because you speak English, so you use the front of your mouth," and I sort of went, "What?"
Yeah,
and they were like, "The front of your mouth," and I was like,
"Yeah, that's a thing."
I was like, "What do you mean? I use the I speak?" And they were like, "Yeah, but we use the whole." And they were like, "Try do it," and it took me forever to go back there.
I don't know if it's the front because we don't roll our R's. That's
no, we don't.
In the front.
But if you feel it on your tongue, it is very much at the tip.
Yeah.
And it is very much at this part of the mouth.
Just the tip.
Just the tip. Yeah.
But
the back of our throat's something else.
Okay, so no more for fans, which by the way is a Swedish word for fuck.
Yeah.
It's just a very cute swear word.
They don't
so
really.
No more of that. We've got it out the way.
Yeah. They don't really have any. Any sort of you never feel that they sound pissed off.
Oh my God, I'm doing it.
They never sound pissed off. I'm just going to throw that out there. They never sound pissed off.
They do.
You've been on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, they do. So I've lived in Sweden twice.
Mm-hmm.
I moved here. I was fresh out of uni. I came here when I was 23, I think. And I was here for 2 years. And at that point in my life, I just wasn't really looking after myself properly. And I also never lived in London.
Okay.
I wanted to get London out of my system. I wasn't really looking after myself. Had a little breakdown, and then I kind of left hating Sweden.
Yeah.
I had a little breakdown. I blamed Sweden for all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can totally sympathize with that.
Yeah. So I lived in London for a year, and I was like, okay, now I realise like the grass wasn't greener. I decided to move back to Sweden. It took me 3 years because COVID happened.
Yeah.
So I've been here twice. I moved back in 21, and I'm so glad I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there are things in Sweden that you can have here that you can't have it in London specifically.
Mm.
Like my job's really tied to certain cities. I work in fashion, so
Yeah.
like, it's really like it's not. It's global, but it's not like.
It's not widespread.
It's not like you working like if you work in like I don't know, HR or account.
There's always a human resource out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's crazy at the office party.
But so obviously you left London going like, right, I've done that, got the t-shirt, don't want to go back. And now I'm here in Stockholm again.
Yeah, I'm basically in an abusive relationship with Stockholm.
Yeah.
So
We
no
all
matter
are.
how badly they treat me, I keep coming back. I love that man.
I love it.
How about you?
So my partner got a job with a big fashion brand out here and moved in 2018. It was hilarious. We basically sat down in a pub it was in Canary Wharf. So, slightly classy, but it was also the Weatherspoons, so slightly not classy.
I love spoons though.
I know, but we're not allowed to like them after Brexit. Not Brexit. We're not allowed to like them after Brexit and after what happened during COVID. Because they like fired all of their staff.
I mean, yeah, he's an arsehole, but at the same time, £6 for a burger and a pint. You can't be.
I know, but I just can't. Anyway, so we were in Weatherspoons, and I was sort of like, oh, I've bought an apartment in London. At which point he was like, oh, and I was like, what's your big news? And he was like, oh, I've got a job. It's in Stockholm. And I was like,
How long were you together?
so we'd been together like 2 years by this stage. And
You weren't living together.
We weren't living together.
Okay.
Well, we kind of were living together. He was sort of like between Liverpool and London at that stage. And when he was coming back to London, he was staying at mine.
Okay.
And that was fabulous because that was just sort of like, it was just really nice. And then like, we got a couple of months in the apartment together before he moved out and came to Stockholm. And and I kind of wanted to, because this was the first place I'd bought it with inheritance from when my mum died.
Yeah.
I needed an established base. I felt so transient and I just needed something to persist in my life. And this was the apartment. So I was just like, you know what? I just need to live here for 2 years. Then it'll be the longest place I've lived in London and it'll be my thing. And then I decided, you know what? That's fine. I'm going to do that. I quit my job at the post house and got a freelance gig. That was ending in May. And I thought the best time to move country is going to be April 2020. Yeah.
April 2020.
So in the middle of the pandemic.
I mean, to be honest, babe, you probably did the right thing.
I mean, I feel like I did the right thing.
Because Sweden didn't do COVID. It didn't happen here.
No. So it's not like, and I have to remind Dan of that because, there's moments where I get triggered with like trauma from like the first lockdown. And he's just there going like, yeah, but you weren't really there. And I'm like, what's for the first one?
April 2020.
Yeah, I moved in August. So I went through the whole of like, so that was like March to August.
Okay.
So that was delayed. Moved in August 2020. And that's how I arrived here.
To be honest, that one was really scary.
Yeah. There was rumours of tanks on the M25.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But it was sunny. And I had a dog.
It was very sunny.
A little chihuahua. And that poor little dog, I'd walk up to him, the lead, he'd run off. Because I'm like, we need to go for a walk.
This dog's just there going like, no.
Not again.
Yeah.
Fucking bitch.
I've done my exercise.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
But that is, I mean, to your point, like London is a very transient city. I had that experience in London. It's part of the reason why I came back. I was moving like, I think in 2 years I had to move like 8 times or something crazy.
No, that's
like
not
that.
good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
In the end, I like tried living with friends. I tried living I lived with a boyfriend. I tried to like meet people and like a social like on social media and like an arrangement type thing. In the end, I just ended up just living with strangers and just not giving a fuck because I didn't want to ask them for money for bills, and I didn't want them to ask me. I wanted to pay some random stranger, I not speak to them, and like it was like I have my room and I share a bathroom with you, you know.
Yeah.
And it wasn't nice. But after the end, I was like, because the thing about Sweden is you can have your own apartment. It's a
Yes.
first hand. I mean, it's second hand, and it's not permanent, but it's yours. You can afford it.
Yeah. I feel like that's something we, you know, that because that system is very unique and it's very different. So, like, when we say secondhand apartments for the UK audience, that's private rental.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, a first hand is a council house, effectively. But, like, a council house, like it was before Thatcher.
Not. I wouldn't call it a council house. Because
Why?
council house is owned and maintained by the government.
Okay,
A
yeah.
first hand is owned and maintained by companies.
Yes.
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
The landlord.
Yeah.
It's just but the government have given them permission type thing.
Yeah, because it's a unique system in Sweden. Or is it like Sweden does this a lot?
I think it's only Sweden.
Yeah.
I think Denmark, our friend Cleo, she's Danish. She might have said something that's quite similar.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's supposed to stop billionaires coming in, buying entire blocks of apartments and just leaving them empty.
I fucking love that.
I don't. Because I think it's so stupid. Because essentially, you have to be in the queue, and you have to be in the queue to get an apartment in central Stockholm. You have to be in the queue for like 18 years, right?
Yeah.
That's not happening. So
No.
you end up in the like back end of fucking buttfuck nowhere, or you have to rent off some random.
Yeah.
And I think these laws make it like harder to rent. So when you get an apartment, you don't let it go, even if you don't need it. And Swedes are always like, oh, but if you like, you're supposed to live there. There are rules, but everyone fucks the rules. So there are actually a ton of empty apartments in Stockholm, for like who are rented out to people who have bought their apartments.
Yeah. Okay, I see that.
Yeah, I see it everywhere. It happened to me. Like,
Fair.
I've been burned.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I have lived in the place I've lived now for like 2 years. I rent off a lesbian, a gay.
That's really good. Yeah.
He, she, them, I don't know. But, like, she's studying. She's up north somewhere. She's got a really nice apartment. It's a bit of a witch's den. We shot our first couple of podcasts there.
We did, yes. Everyone will remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, which reminds me, you've reminded me. So going off topic,
Yeah.
which we have done a couple of times before now, and I'm aware you're going to rein me back in at some stage. However, I feel like we need to address, because it's episode 4 and I haven't done that. So my cousin Connor Todd has done our music, has done our intro, has done our interstitials, has done our outro. He's done a phenomenal job.
Give him a little bit of it.
Yep.
In the edit.
Yep. A little bit of a love. Brilliant. So excited. And I feel like we should also give a little bit of love to Rico, who's done our wonderful illustrations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not done them yet. He will be doing them.
He will be doing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously, so big shout out to Studio Rico Berger and a big shout out to Connor Todd. That is 1 N and 2 Ds.
Cool. We're going to get Rico on the podcast.
We're going to get Rico on the podcast. He's going to come in, which is going to be good. We were talking about your apartments and my apartment, which is just, sheer perseverance for my boyfriend. Because obviously, as you say, you have to be in the queue for like 18 years. Mm-hmm. So this company firsthand came up.
Especially where you live. Yeah.
I know, tell me about it. So we're like 15 minutes from central Stockholm.
Yeah.
Like, it's walking.
Dream, yeah.
It's great. And like, what was it? Dan, like my boyfriend was just like, oh, okay, I would really like this apartment. They were like, well, you need to get the company to sign off on it. He went to his employer and they were like, there's no way we're signing off on this. And then, of course, the pandemic hit. And
so start from the beginning.
Yeah.
I know the story.
Yes.
You knew the person that lived there before.
We knew the person who was moving out. Yeah.
And it's a corporate company that rents to other corporate companies.
Yes. So like people moving into the country have a place to live.
Yeah.
So, of course, this is the beginning of 2020. No one is moving. And they've suddenly realised, shit, what do we do? So then very luckily we managed to get this apartment. And they just called him up once and just went, do you still want it? And he was like, yeah. And they were like, okay, we're going to increase the rent. And he was like, I don't care. Yeah. So we got a first-hand apartment. And one of the brilliant things with first-hands, which are, I get what you mean where it's not a council house, but to me, it kind of is a council house because Sweden does this thing where the state doesn't actually run anything, but it gives money to companies that run it.
Yeah.
So it still feels like every time we go to the hospital, that hospital is not what we would class as NHS. It's private, just funded by the government.
Yeah.
So it's a phenomenal system. It's something that I think, people will probably use this to say that, this is what the UK should become. This is not what the UK should become because the UK would fuck it up drastically. Yeah. So we're in this, unique situation, but there's certain things like in first-hand apartments, they consider heat a human right. We don't pay for heating.
Isn't it they burn the trash or something?
Yeah. Yeah, but that still, requires money.
Still, they burn the trash and they use that to heat the homes.
Yeah.
How do you find Sweden?
I have mixed emotions with Sweden.
It's an abusive relationship.
It is an abusive relationship. We need to be very aware that we're just coming out of the throes of winter, seasonal depression. It's a pain in the ass. Yeah. We're nearly in May, and it is currently 4 degrees. It started off the day as -2.
Yeah, I mean, the weather's shit. We live in the
raining.
North.
Yeah.
It's the fucking daylight for me, babe. We've got that back, so I'm skipping up the street.
Yeah, you feel a bit happier now. Yeah, so I would say that's a thing. I do love living in a socialist country. I love it. There is a lot more socialist than back home. The political system, the way it runs here feels just a bit more fair, and I quite like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm saying that as a freelancer. This is one thing I do want to change because as a freelancer, I pay 50% tax, and that is ferocious.
Yeah, the tax is kind of crazy.
The tax is very crazy.
Yeah.
But if you are in employment, it's a hell of a lot easier. Your tax is at 30% unless you're lucky to earn over 750,000 kroner a year, and then it ramps up to anything above that amount is taxed at 60%.
Yeah, well, the company also pays an extra tax on top. So when I apply for jobs, I tell them it's that amount.
Okay, I like that. I like that. That's really good. If they're watching.
Yeah. It says your company pays X amount. So that's what I tell people.
Yeah, and that's why my tax is 50% because I pay that extra amount, which is what we would call national insurance. Is that a beer you're cracking?
No.
Yeah. I feel like we should, support the locals. So we're drinking.
Hey, bro.
Hey, bro. Why is it called? Because it used to be called Ibro, didn't it?
I think it was called Åbo.
Åbo.
Which is like a little town in Finland. I've been there.
Oh, nice.
On the west coast, right? And then Eminem was here. And then someone said to him, here's some cheap beer. Because this is cheap beer.
Yeah.
And then they were like, it's called Åbo. And then Eminem went, hey, bro, give me an A, bro.
Now
so then they rebranded it with a cool little logo.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's...
it is Åbo Biggery in Vimmerby. Yeah.
I guess I just said all of that wrong.
No, but you said that right. Because, maybe it originated from Åbo.
I don't know.
But it's good beer.
I will buy my beer based on the graphics. Oh no, yeah, there we go. Åbo.
Yeah.
You can see it.
So you were right.
But above it is Åbo Bigamy. Anyway, so
Sweden, Finland.
Eminem set up the rebrand, and also they're nice, light, refreshing beer at the end of the day.
It is a nice, light, refreshing beer. I feel like I've got shit faced on it quite a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
It's just easy to have in the fridge. They're also little petite can.
Yeah. So how do I find Sweden? I feel like, I started off today thinking I'm going to be a massive dick to Sweden. Just because, we're coming out of winter. There's a few things to complain about. Gary will come out a little bit later.
Gary's going to come
out. And it's sort of but then I got to the situation where I sat there and thought, oh, okay, I was on the bus and it just immediately turned up when it was supposed to. And I was like, okay. And then as I was going along, everyone seemed a bit smiley, a bit happy, which is not weather related because it's fucking raining as it currently is. And I just sat there and thought, everyone's turned up today to try and make me have the best morning ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a great day.
I know. And you know when you're sitting there going like, you knew we were going to record
Yeah.
this, didn't
I said
you?
I wanted to wait to do the Swedish episode until I'm in a good mood.
You lot knew.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Please keep it up for the rest of the summer. And it was, so yeah, I have, things I love, things I hate. The things I love are everyone is, of the friends I've made, everyone is wonderfully friendly and lovely. Like Frida here at the office is an absolute gem. I will waste half of her day talking to her.
Yeah.
Conrad next door, everyone's lovely. Everyone's nice. Everyone's brilliant. When things go wrong, they go wrong. That's my biggest thing.
I find, first of all, Swedes are fit as fuck. They're just a nation of fit people.
Yeah.
To the point, after a while, you get a bit bored of it. You're like, oh, yeah, there's a really attractive guy.
Yeah, it's
there's
like,
a
give me
really
a beer
beautiful
belly.
woman. And you're just like, yeah, whatever. You look like the rest of them. Like,
yeah. I'm now finding I kind of go for a little bit, not a six pack and hairy. And I'm kind of like, I've changed because there's so many moments. There's so many moments where I've just like, you and I have both tried to order food and it's gone horribly wrong. Like, I'm sorry, I no longer, what was it? Gary came out and Gary issued GDPR requests and the European Parliament's right to be forgotten.
yeah.
I will Google and then I will circa
Didn't you get banned from Bolt?
I didn't get banned from Bolt. I brought Bolt down. Bolt no longer does food here. And it was just like...
They just rebranded as Volt?
No, Volt's a separate company. That's the other thing. They're not creative with names. It's like, oh, so there's Bolt, so we will create Volt. Like, Volt is Finnish, Bolt is Estonian. And I'm just like, you're countries are far too close together to that not be a coincidence. And it's just like, so... Bolt issued that to them. Foodora, I've issued that to them. Volt, I've issued that to them. No, because all three of them, with Foodora, I ordered pizza 3 times from them. It's literally down my road.
Yeah.
And it took over 2 hours for each pizza to be delivered. And when I complained, they sort of sat there and went, but you can't really expect them to move any faster, can you? I'm sitting there going like, 2 hours on the same street. Are you fucking... We're on the same island.
Why didn't you go?
Because it was snowing. As per usual here.
I wanted my food.
Yeah. So there was that whole incident. And I just sort of I sort of just went, there needs to be compensation for this. And there was no compensation. It was like 20 krona. And I was like, right, fuck you, I'm out. Volt did the same thing to me recently. So anyone who moves here, don't go with Volt. Don't go with Foodora.
Yeah.
Don't go with Bolt. The only one you can trust is the American. Go with Uber. Because if it goes wrong, they will refund you your money.
I love Bolt. And for some reason, I get a 45% discount every time I take a cab.
So this is your shout out to Bolt.
I am a cab queen. I love you, Bolt. Yeah. I would take... The other day I was at work and I felt tired, so I just got a cab home.
Nice.
As opposed to one train. I was just really tired. I was just like, just take me home.
I know you say it's one train.
I got 50% discount for no reason.
I love that for you.
I love Bolt.
Okay. I love that for you. If Uber wants me to travel there by car, they will give me a 50% discount.
Okay.
Just saying.
Your situation is a lot different to mine.
Yeah, I go with the food.
I was like housing insecure. I was like moving into an apartment and they said, no, we're not going to help you. It wasn't a fucked up Bolt pizza delivery. Weirdo.
Okay. Okay, I'm so sorry. Please tell the story about, how you were nearly made homeless. Like...
Okay, so this actually ties into Albro.
Okay.
So...
Were you drunk on Albro and missed an appointment?
No.
Oh, right.
So, Albro, the city.
Okay,
That's when I went to Finland. He lives in Finland.
Yeah.
So bless him, a friend of mine hooked me up with him. It was like 3,700 crowns, a freaking steal. I was like, this is insane. I don't know, in English money, it's about 300.
It's less than 300 in English money now.
I think it was 280 at the time.
Yeah.
280 pounds. Okay.
A month.
A month. Just for rent, I pay the bills on top.
Okay.
Work. 30 square meter apartment. So it's a little studio flat, but You take what you can get. So anyway, messaged him. He came over, bless him, on the boat. You can get a ferry from Finland to Stockholm.
Yeah.
You stay overnight. It's a bit of a booze cruise, duty free.
Yeah.
You would love it.
I'd love it. I really want to do that.
So then he came over, showed me the apartment. I was like, yeah, this is great. Like, I'll take it. He's like, oh, I need to apply for the board. So a board is just like me and you, right? Just living in an apartment, and then, but you're on part of like the committee. So you make decisions based on like the block of flats, of the apartments, right?
Yeah.
And it reminds me of like Phoebe in Friends. Like, do you remember when, like, Ross pissed off the board of his building?
Yeah.
And then Phoebe met the president of the board.
No.
And then when she met him, she went, Mr. President.
That's literally, I can imagine you doing that, actually.
Mr. President. It's nice to meet you. Anyway, whatever. So then he was like, oh, I just need to ask them. And bless him, he's an old bloke. He doesn't know how to work his phone. He doesn't know how to work his emails. He wasn't putting together an application for his board one time. And he was like, it'll be fine. I've had people live there before. So he was like, oh, if you don't mind, could you come over and meet me in Finland? Because I've came over here. I'm not making any money on this. That's why it was so cheap. He was like, I've just forgotten about it. I can't sell it because there's a construction site in the front.
Yeah.
And then...
And so he owns the apartment.
He owns it. Outright.
Okay. Interesting.
But this is the thing. Maybe you know this about your apartments. You don't actually own your apartment. You own the lease to the apartment.
Yeah.
The building owns it.
You're not allowed to own physical space. So like you can own, like in the UK, the rule is you can own ground.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed to own a place in the sky, if that makes any sense, which an apartment is. Like, you know, if you take away all the other apartments, you're just a floating box.
This is back to my story. So I was paying the AVGIFT, which AVGIFT is like what you pay the house.
Yeah.
Okay. And
to maintain the place.
So he's not actually making any money on this. So he was like, can you come to Finland? And I was like, oh my God, this guy takes like 6 weeks to reply to an email. And then all of my friends were like, just leave it. I was like, yeah, but £300 rent.
I'm getting on that boat.
Motherfucker, I got on the boat. Like, I had a little cute time. Took a book, duty free. I just rang the guy up, old school. I'll be in this square next to this statue. I like Googled it. At this time, on this day.
You're kidding me.
And he was 20 minutes early. Because he's old school. You know what I mean? He doesn't know how to write an email, but he knows how to meet up with you when you give him a time.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that. That was really good. I thought this was going in a completely opposite direction, where you were going to be like, you know, spent days on that street corner.
No, it was 20 minutes early, mate. Then, signed a little contract. Told him I'll send the money when I get home.
Yeah.
Don't know why he let me do that. He had the little contract. I was really excited about it.
Yeah.
Gave me the keys. I got on the ferry home. Okay. I did all the little things in the town of Orebro that you can do, which is walk into the town and walk out. Anyway, get on the boat. Get on the boat home. Then I get an email from a lawyer saying, just so you know, the board has rejected this guy's deal. You can't live in this apartment. So I replied to him, like, I'm moving into that place this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, this is happening. And he was like, if you go anywhere near that apartment, we will forcibly take this apartment away from this man. And
I've had friends where they will forcibly take that apartment away. They will kick you out.
Like, even though he owns it, bought in the 80s, mind you, Doctor in the 80s owns it. Finished Doctor in the 80s owns this apartment.
Yeah.
So then I replied to him, like, well, I've got nowhere else to live. He's like, if you go into this apartment, we'll forcibly remove you and we'll take it off him. And I was like, and then I started to get heated because I also was at the bar. I'm going toe to toe, right? Toe to toe with this retail lawyer. Fuck all about retail. I started Googling, like, the bylaws of this board. And I was like, yeah, but he's renting this apartment, like, because he can't sell it right now because there's a building site outside. And, like, I'm like, again, toe to toe.
Yep.
And then the guy was like, this isn't your apartment. Why are you arguing? I was like, I just really want to pay £300 rent.
I just want decent rent. I want a new apartment. I want an apartment that I can live in and not feel bad about it.
Yeah, he was basically like, good luck finding another apartment, not my problem. I was like, but there's an empty, like, a flat there. I keep saying flat. In Sweden, you say apartment, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, they use the American word for it when they're translating to English.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I feel like, you know,
unhelpful.
It's very unhelpful. Very unhelpful. I feel like that is a thing in Sweden as well, where they favour American English over British English. In fact,
oh no, they don't.
yeah, they do.
Yeah, no, they like apartment.
Have you seen the amount of they
They
like
like laundry. I'm gonna do my
zucchini?
laundry.
Yeah, laundry.
Um,
This is another thing. It's sort of like their love of hot dogs and their love of burgers.
Korv. So, the culinary taste of Sweden is IKEA. It's IKEA. If you go to IKEA, that is Swedish food.
You've experienced the best of Swedish food if you've gone to IKEA.
They love ice cream. They invented the dime bar.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Yep.
Korvs.
Yeah.
They love a little hot dog.
Yeah.
Meatballs is a thing.
Meatballs is a massive thing. Yeah.
Lingonberry.
They're going to hate me for this, but literally, like, go to IKEA, you've experienced the best of Swedish food. That hot... they don't have sausages here. It's not a sausage.
No, they don't.
It's a hot dog.
They call it Italian sausage. When it's just
There's
like
nothing fucking Italian about
You're
it.
vegan. Like, where?
You give me a Linda McCartney's any day of the week.
Oh, yeah. Linda
A nice
McCartney.
Linda.
Yeah.
You know, Linda Honey. Please.
Linda Honey.
Something.
Yeah.
So, like, these are the things that sort of, like, you know, and it's just like, and, you know, that leads us into, you know, how do you find it? I'm part Indian. I need spicy food. And I feel like, you know, everyone looks at me and immediately thinks I'm Swedish, and they just do not give me anything spicy. Getting hot food here is the hardest thing on the planet.
I actually think you look more Danish than Swedish.
Whatever it is, it can't handle spice.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. Like, when you're in a, I love Sweden to bits, but, you know, salt is not a spice. Dill is not the only herb.
Dill. Yeah, they love dill.
Sour cream is okay occasionally.
Yeah.
So we've established that Sweden is not great on its culinary front.
Creamy.
It's very...
My biggest thing is the humour. And it's just not going to be a moan fest. We love Sweden. That's why I came back.
Yes.
But I find the humour to be very, like, he. Like, very, like, cute.
Yeah.
And I like a dark, tantalising, controversial, maybe, possibly, like... joke.
Yeah.
You know? I want to laugh and feel bad about it.
Like, when my dog is barking, when Elliot is barking his head off, I will openly on the bus just go, I will skin you alive and turn you into a handbag.
Yeah.
And the amount of Swedes are like, oi, oi, oi.
Oh, yeah.
Oi, 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 for fun.
There we go.
Back again. But it's so true. And I'm just like there going, I'm not actually going to skin the dog. Calm down.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, what was it?
We spoke about this.
Yeah. Like, what was it? My one of the editors I work with, he's just had a baby, and I love it because it was like, how's it going? And they're Maltese, and his wife Sue was just in the background going like, I'm trying to eBay my daughter, and I was just like there going like, I'm here for this level of humor, and she's there going, how much do you reckon I could get? Maybe I'll pay them, and I'm just sitting there going, like, this is funny.
Yeah.
This is funny.
Yeah.
I feel like we should caveat that, you know, most of our experience of Sweden is purely based around Stockholm.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
And obviously it's very different when you go to different places. Like, you know...
But fuck nowhere, Sweden.
Yeah.
Not the same as Stockholm.
No.
Yeah.
I've been up to Kiruna, which is far north in Sweden. Can easily see the Northern Lights. Ironic that, like, what was it? Because there was a moment we were on this bus going in and she was like, here is the new town. And we will shortly be arriving in the original Kiruna. And I was just there going like, well. And it was when we arrived into the city that they were like, oh yeah, because the mine's expanding and everyone here works for the mine, we're demolishing a whole city and moving the city like 20 miles down the road.
But when you say city...
It's a Swedish city.
20 houses.
Yeah, it's tiny. It's like
5 families.
Yeah, 5 families. So like literally, like, you know, it was, you know, but like there was like we stayed in the Scandic. They were like, this is the last winter this Scandic will be standing, and we moved to the new Scandic. It was quite cool. I don't want to get.
Nice?
Yeah, I liked it. It was great.
It's got an edge.
It's got an. By edge, you mean we're on the edge of town.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, you know, it used to be the centre, now it was the edge of town.
Oh.
But do you know what? It was actually really good. They had a sauna on the top floor. And like
Nice.
Dan and I were the only people in this sauna just, you know, getting roasted while it was like -30 outside.
Nice.
And we were just like there going like our clear view is of the ski slopes. It was great.
Mm.
It was phenomenal. So I've been up to Kiruna and I've been to Malmo. So I've been, you know, far north, far south.
I've never been to Malmo. All right, so like in Sweden, Swedes I'm gonna piss a lot of Swedes off, but I did that in the UK episode, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
With all of that. The 3 big cities is Stockholm, Malmo, Göteborg. Never been to Malmo, although I do want to go.
Yeah.
But I feel like I just end up going to Copenhagen, which is a bit more fun. Göteborg. Everyone, which is Gothenburg. If you know. Göteborg. Everyone I've met from Göteborg is just a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Not like weird, but there's just a little bit of like a character or a twist on them.
Not like middle of Soho, avoid them at all costs.
No,
weird.
no.
But like, you know, the
Not
Soho,
complete
I want to be your friend.
Not like lunatic, but
No.
like just little, like something off, something cool, something edgy.
Yeah.
And that's why I love people from Göteborg, and that's why I want to go over. I've heard it's quite an industrial town. It's very like port city, like
but it's nice. It's nice.
They've
Like
got
from
gay
what
bars.
I've heard, it's lovely. Every person I've met in Sweden that I've gone like, oh, I really like you. I've gone like, oh, you're from Gothenburg, and I've really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Malmo.
We should do a cheeky weekend.
We should do a cheeky. Yeah, let's do a cheeky weekend.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Get the train.
Get the train.
Yeah. Do you know what though? It's sort of like, so Malmo. There's a director from Malmo who I absolutely love. She's
You
like
say Malmö?
Yeah, because it's got the
Is that what you say, or that was they
It's
say?
it's the O with the 2 dots. Malmö.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I always said Malmö.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's fine. I mean, we also say Gothenburg, but it's, you know, it's Göteborg.
Göteborg. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same with, you know, like when we're talking about Copenhagen, in Swedish, it's Köpenhamn.
Köpenhamn.
Yeah. And then when they talk about
Who says
Helsinki,
Copenhagen? Copenhagen.
Copenhagen is like the Danish one. Copenhagen.
Why do they sound like Scouse people speaking Swedish? Is that just the way you do it?
I don't know. It's like,
Copenhagen.
Like, you know, like I was trying to do like the, you know, because
Copenhagen.
yeah, because like Rode, which is like, you know, the manufacturers of the mics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're trying to, you know, if you think about it in Swedish and then you relax your throat, almost as if you've, you know, like had a stroke, and then you go, oh yeah, that's kind of how they sound. Oh yeah. Cleo's gonna hate us, isn't she?
No, she won't. She loves us.
So yeah. So Malmo, and like she was the nicest director, and there was a moment where I was sort of like, you know, oh, I can't get good falafel, and she just went, you need to come to Malmo because there's a huge immigrant population of Malmo from the Middle East.
Yeah.
And the falafel is amazing. And I was just like, you know, literally like my mouth was salivating, her eyes were crying. I was just like, I'm going to come.
You're going all the way down there for a wrap.
Yeah. No, for falafel. Falafel salad.
I would like to visit. I should visit more of Stockholm.
Yeah.
I am that immigrant guy who's only ever been to Stockholm.
Yeah.
I landed in Örebro.
True. You did, didn't you?
But then I got straight on the train.
Yeah.
Again, 12 houses there, 5 families.
Yeah.
All close fencing.
It's brilliant.
It's tiny.
It's tiny.
So
yeah, there's all like, you know, but I have been other places. Like my friend Simon's recently moved to Darsland.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to Darsland, and I'm traveling in the car with Annika, another Swedish friend, and there was a moment where I'm going like, it's a bit, you know, I'm doing the research, it's a bit Sverigedemokraterna, SD heavy, which is like their right-wing party, they're like lunatic fringe nationalist party. Think BNP or UKIP.
Yeah.
And like I was like, it's a bit heavy. And she was like going like, oh God, because she was like panicking by this stage as well. And we arrived, and it was the most international, like small, like this town only has a coop. That's it.
It's the co-op.
It's just it just has that's the only store. And it's like ridiculously tiny. We were staying in an Airbnb where we had like literally the whole Airbnb. I think she runs it as a side project. She literally bought the house next door and was like, "Oh, I'm going to run an Airbnb for like people." And it was lovely, but I was just like, it was so small, and yet it has most of Simon's friends are internationals, and apparently that is Gothenburg's University. Correct me if I'm wrong. Their like arts campus is based there.
Okay.
So, like, like half the town is sort of like, left-wing, liberal and
Right.
international
And where was
people.
that again?
This is Dalsland.
Dalsland.
It's like a 5-hour drive from Stockholm. It took us 5 hours to get there. I know. We travelled. It was his 30th.
As well. Like,
yeah. It was good
I'm
to see.
always like, when I say, oh, I'm 2.5 hours away from London, from like a British perspective, I'm like miles away from London.
Yeah.
And I tell that to a Swede, and they're like, oh, it's not far. Because they can drive for like 13 hours and still be in Sweden.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Looked back at everything and we look at the scope of it, I would say, I'm very grateful to be here.
Yeah.
I do love being here. It's, in summer it's for not like, we've bitched about it because it's in winter, but we are about to enter summer.
You forgive and forget.
Yeah.
As soon as the sun comes out, you're like, this is why I live here.
Yeah.
And also Swedes have a really nice vacation culture. It's like they take like 5-6 weeks off.
Yeah.
That's a bit much for me because I still want to save some holiday days. But like they'll take an entire month off in the summer because I've just done the winter. You've just done the winter.
Yeah.
The sun is out. It's 28 degrees. I'm leaving the office at 2. What are you doing? Like,
exactly. I want to go and swim in Hornsberry Strand.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go swim off Longholmen.
Relax.
Yeah, getting pissed in the park.
But like everyone just like it's lovely. So I like that kind of shared awareness of fuck me, this was shit. Let's go enjoy the summer.
Yeah. Moving swiftly on to, the topic of the gays.
The gays. There's not enough gay bars, man.
There's not enough gay bars. And the gay bars we do have, like, Sidetrack, the cheapest, I think, is like 79.
No, Sidetrack isn't cheap. Sidetrack is expensive.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like, they
all are the same price.
Yeah, it's all expensive. But the thing is, I said to you before, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
So, like...
So that's why we go to Sidetrack. That's why we go to...
Blue Oyster's pretty good. The guy who owns that owns Backdoor. Backdoor's spenny as fuck, but it's the only gay club.
Yeah.
When I first moved there was King Kong. There was Candy, which is 3 before 11. Again, moved there when I was 23. Loved that.
Yeah.
There was a couple more as well. Patricia. You had a night at Patricia. Patricia is a boat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Patricia was a boat. And yeah, it was Seymour and the Freaks, the launch of their music video, which I cut, which was good fun.
You did the edit for it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I love it.
Uncut. But yeah, there was a night. We went to the night. A couple of my friends my friend, like Sophie, my friend, she was over from London.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, my friend's got this night on. It's going to be a bunch of drag queens. It's going to be lit. Let's go.
Yeah.
So we went. And because it's a boat, it's so hard to navigate. Like, I was hanging out with you guys in the viewing part. There was the bar there. We started dancing. And I was like trying to go find the toilet. But then it just randomly turns into a restaurant. Like glitter, like people are eating a meal, and I'm like, where the fuck is the toilet? And then like you have to go outside to smoke, even though you can't just go on the deck.
No, you can go on the deck.
I did not go on the deck. I had to leave the.
Girl, there's a smoking area on the deck.
I did not go there. I had to leave the premises.
I spent ages on the deck.
Do you know what? Smoking. I'm a big smoker. I love it. If I could smoke every moment of every day, I will. If I can have a cigarette just back to back, I will do it. But I don't because I can't.
That's one thing. That's a negative of Sweden.
They don't like smokers.
They don't like smokers. You're not technically allowed to smoke within 30 meters of any given entrance, which is a little bit like it's the whole fucking city.
So if you're in a rooftop bar, you still have to
smoke.
go down 13 flights of stairs in an elevator, of course. I'm a smoker.
Yep.
And then leave the premises and smoke out there. But I was recently in America.
Yeah.
And that's quite an American thing.
Is that an American thing?
They don't like smokers.
You're in the wrong part of America.
No, like it's like smokers. They don't like it.
Yeah,
like,
but I've smoked in a bar in Pennsylvania.
what the fuck were you doing there, man?
I used to work in a summer camp.
Oh yeah.
And Philadelphia. Philadelphia's in Pennsylvania.
No, nowadays they don't like smokers, man. They make you leave. They make you walk up.
Ugh.
You have to do it over there.
Ugh.
And they have this opinion of Europeans as being heavy smokers. Which, to be fair,
they're not wrong.
Yeah.
You know, get my hands in the air.
Just to be clear, smoking kills. Smoking is not good for you.
No,
But
smoking is not good for you. And the UK is changing its laws so that kids will no longer be able to smoke.
yeah, they've just done that, right?
Kind of okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've banned it.
Yeah.
To be fair, they should ban it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to smoke.
Yeah. There's no reason to drink either.
But that segues into my gift that you gave me.
Oh,
I want
you're
to
welcome.
show
Yeah.
the 12 people that watched this. The gift that you just gave me is, you said it was two of my favorite things. It's a flask. You see?
Yeah.
It's a flask which has a compartment for cigarettes.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's good, eh?
I was just saying, if I can get a Corv going on the side, maybe a little grill. That's a night out.
That's a night out. I can imagine you just sitting there, just go smoke my cigarette, or drop my drink, and it's like, what do I want? And you just go
Slap on a Corv. Yeah.
flip it, slap on a Corv. You may have to rotate it yourself. Just going like, it's cooking.
Yeah.
It's cooking.
It's cooking.
I can't do the accent. I'm not allowed to do it. I'm not allowed to do the accent. We nearly forgot Uncle Gary's rant.
Go for it, Gary.
Okay, so my rant about Sweden, as we're going to do a rant every episode, I'm going to, there's something that's going to piss me off. Yes. So my rant about Sweden is to all the Swedes out there, you cannot walk on a pavement without bumping into someone. I'm really sorry about this, and I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but like when I walk down the street in Stockholm, it feels like I'm in a video game and you're all the AI trying to get in my way. I have no idea what it is. It's sometimes you're on your phones. And I've been walking past you and there's someone walking extra slow on their phone, and I'll go like, oh, I'll go to the right. And they've suddenly started edging to the right. And I was like, right, and I'll go to the left. And they were like, overcorrect, and they'll edge to the left. And I'm just like, what I want to do is kick you in the back of the shin and then step over you.
Yeah.
It's a thing. And
but in the UK, they've got shit roads, so what would you rather have?
Well,
shit roads or...
True. I'd rather have shit roads. I'd rather have to rebuy my car and get to places on time when I don't have a car. Honest to God, it's all like... And actually, Nilla backed me up on this. Nilla is Swedish. She is from Södermalm. And she backed me up on this. She said, one crisp winter, the Mellar froze over and she walked from Slusen to Östermalm. Not via the islands, on the lake. And there was a moment where she sat there and she said, I was on this, and it's a big fuck off lake. Let's not, this lake divides the city in two.
That's the most
huge
Swedish thing I've ever heard of.
Yeah. And literally she was walking and there was one other person on this lake walking and he bumped into her. She was like, you got the whole fucking lake.
Yeah.
She was just like there going like, dude, she speaks with an American accent. She's like, dude, just fuck off. And it was just like, and that is my biggest gripe with Sweden. The fact that you guys don't know where to walk. If I tried to pass you on the left-hand side, you have a hissy fit.
My God.
Okay, so
that is Gary's rant.
That is Gary's rant.
The gay Karen.
Yeah, the gay
Karen. Complaining about
everything.
Sidewalk politics.
Girl. I've nearly kicked a child. I'm sorry. They fucking deserved it. So go on then, Cousin Callum.
Cousin Callum.
What's your bit?
Who's not very aware.
What are you not aware about?
Well, if I can have a bit of moan about Sweden. I don't really know. They don't know how to say excuse me.
Okay.
So this kind of leads into your thing.
Manners.
You say ursäkta mig, which is Swedish for excuse me.
Yeah.
But like if they're walking behind you
Yeah.
Like you said, they walk into you.
Yeah.
They don't say excuse me or respect me. And then they kind of look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't got eyes in the back of my head.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
If that's the thing that really grinds my gear. I'm more upset about housing insecurity. I think that's pretty fucked up.
It's because I'm secure.
Yeah.
So I got to pick something.
Yeah.
And the thing I pick on is the
cyborg politics.
Cyborg politics. And the fact I can't get the food I want delivered on time.
From down the road.
Yeah. Fuck Bolt. Fuck Foodora.
Yeah.
Fuck Bolt. Go American.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, outro.
Outro.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. Keep tuning in.
Yeah. Follow us on
Instagram,
TikTok.
Send us an email.
Write us a letter.
Yeah, write us a letter. Send us an email. Give us some love. Let us know what we should do as a topic. What you guys want to talk about. And yeah,
I just snowballing here live on air. I would like to do story time.
You would like to do story time?
I'm really watching a lot of podcast people who come up with like crazy stories. So we can talk about that. We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about that. So maybe you're an expat and you live in another city and you kind of want to sort of like say like, the things you love or the things you hate or, maybe the one thing that really pisses you off. We'll see if it's the same here.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're gay and you've got a fun storyline to tell.
Yeah.
That would be quite nice.
Yeah. Cheers to the quiz.
Cheers
We've
to
been
the quiz.
here for many years. We design your clothes.
We
cut your
movies.
Movies.
And we also cut your hair.
And all we ask for in return is you compliment our derriere.
Cheers to the quiz. See you next week.
We'll get it. We'll get it one day.
Yeah, we will.